Hey guys, welcome back to Genis-Vell Custom. So today I'm sharing with you a Sideshow Collectibles custom Captain Mar-Vell statue that I converted into Phyla Vell for my own personal collection. Now, I don't know if you guys know, I'm a big fan of Captain Mar-Vells, and I love Genis-Vell and I love Phyla Vell. And from the 90s to the early 2000s, before Quesada killed off all my favorite characters when he took over as editor-in-chief, but I don't want to get into all that. So what I'm pretty much doing is, whenever I find statues that I love the statue, it's like it streams the character I always love that I know companies are never going to make, I pretty much go out of my way to get it and convert it for myself. And that's why I always tell people, you know, you can love the statue, but you might not like the character, but it could be made into a different character. So, when Sideshow showed off this statue, I was like, I am getting this statue. I don't care how I'll get it, but I'm going to get one, and I'm going to convert it into Phyla Vell for my own collection. So I did a trade-off with a friend. But if anyone in the comments can explain to me, where did this design that Sideshow did, where did that design come from? I don't think I've really ever read or anyone ever told me or explained it. I don't know where. I know Carol Danvers is now Captain Mar-Vell, but I've never seen what Sideshow did with this weird design. Because the way Sideshow, as you saw in the beginning of the video, it's all blue with the weird lines coming out of the star, whereas in the comics, Carol has, you know, the yellow star with the yellow lines. It's all blue with the blue, with the boots and the gloves, and then the sash, and you know, the mohawk. So I don't know where Sideshow came up with that design, but it really doesn't matter in the end, because when I saw the statue, I'm like, yeah, I'm making Phyla Vell. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be the perfect statue for me, and I did it. So that being said, we're kind of getting a little bit closer, and I'll break down all the custom work. So, she is a removable head, and I didn't need the exclusive. When I did the trade-off with a friend, I got a regular. So if you don't know, Phyla and Genis, when they're not powered up, the neckline stops about here, and you see the skin tone of the head and the skin tone in the hands. But since they're powered up, all of it turns blue into the cosmic awareness. Phyla has white hair to begin with, where Genis is blonde, but then he turns white when he's in cosmic awareness. So what I did is just pretty much attach the head. I chopped up the neck area and I rebuilt the neck because I really wanted to have it attached. And I think it worked out pretty good. Tried my best to get all the muscles there. And then as for the hair, I wanted to give her the hair for when she was like in Quasar. She did take over the Quasar mantle in Annihilation, and she grew out her hair a little bit more, and it was kind of like floppy. So I went on Google and I was looking up hairstyles. And I came across one hairstyle where it was like, it matches this pretty much perfect, where the hair was kind of split here, and it was shorter but still long in the front, and then it was really flopping over the side of the face over here, but it was very short in the back. So that's kind of what I wanted to copy, and I think it worked out pretty good, because it's like if she's in space or she's flying or whatever, it's kind of going pretty well with that. So after that, I chopped out all the line work coming from the star. I chopped out the gloves. I filled in the areas where these weird sash pieces went to, and then of course I sanded down all the boot stuff that came up around there, and I tweaked all that out. And then I sculpted out the boots here for her, and then we'll kind of break down what I did with the base. Real quick, I'm not really a fan of big elaborate bases that overpower the item. You know, I want to focus on the character. I understand if you're doing like Thanos in the throne, Doom in the throne, they're sitting down on the throne, but it's not overpowering the statue. Some of these statues that come out, the bases are so elaborate, it's like, are we focusing on the base or are we focusing on the character? So that's just my take on it. I understand we're all collectors, we all have different preferences, but for me, I want more of a simple base focusing on the character, but I don't mind the base telling a story. Like in this, what I try to do is give it like a moon rock. So maybe she's in space and there's a moon rock there. You know, where like say for instance the Sideshow Power Girl. She came down, she stomped on her, you see her foot imprints, and the ground is broken up around her. It tells a story, but it's simple. That's just kind of the stuff I like for my statues. And what I had to do is I had to come up with something that could tell her a little bit of a story, but I had to work with the engineering of the statue, and I'll kind of break down the engineering. When she came with that big, huge alien head, and the problem with that alien head is I really didn't want this statue, you know, you see the base, and then the alien head comes to about here, and then, you know, the statue's all the way up here. You know, it takes away from the character, plus putting it in the Besta, it's like, I really wanted just to have the character. So I snap that sucker off, and then I wanted to get her into the base. My idea in the beginning was I could put a peg here, and then I could just have her sitting in the base. But the problem was, I realized when I was like, okay, before I do any kind of dremel work, let me make sure to see where this metal rod is. So I put a magnet on the metal, and it was magnetized. So I said, okay, let me run the magnet up the leg. So I ran the magnet up the leg. The magnet's still stuck. The magnet's still stuck. It went all the way up to here, and it was kind of a little bit loose, but I think the metal rod comes all the way up to the hip. And that's good, though, actually, because now, if any of you guys have this statue, you don't have to worry about any warping or bending over time, because there's a nice thick metal rod in the leg that's not going to break or warp. If anything, the alien head that she's sitting on will probably cause more problems in the long run because it's translucent resin. And that translucent resin can actually chip and warp more than actually resin. Especially if you pop in the statue in and out of the base all the time, moving it, packing it up, moving it, packing it up. That stuff will kind of chip, and then your statue's kind of wobbling. So that's just something to think about if you have this statue. But so what I said, okay, I got to do something about this, and the best thing I could come up with was, let me build this out in an area. I'll put a hollow metal rod in there, and I'll put that peg in there, and I'll build around it. So I built it around it. She does come in and out of the base, but now it's kind of like a moon rock type thing. And I didn't really want to focus on the base. You know, like I said, I just kind of, so then I painted in like a moon rock with some interference purple, and I think it worked out pretty good. So I did the outclad chrome on the bracelets, the blue, pearlized blue from Createx with all the shading, and then the black shading. The red is a Tamiya chrome silver, and then it's a clear red over on top of that. All tons and tons of layers of the Duplicolor clear car paint. So that's pretty much my Phyla Vell. I think it worked out pretty good. I had a lot of fun working on this here and there, and I'm glad to actually get her done. I kind of finished her up on July 4th. I was like, you know what? Let me take a day to myself. You know, cook myself some burgers, and then do some statue work, and then just have fun for the rest of the day. So I kind of finished her up. And then that's pretty much a grail for me. That is my Phyla Vell. So I'm hoping next year there's a statue I'm going to try to get a hold of where I can make Genis-Vell. And I think that statue, if it's kind of as close as possible to this scale, I can have her and Genis on the shelf together without it, you know, having to separate them, brother and sister. And I think it would work out really, really cool. So Genis will be a next year project when that statue comes out. And then this statue at least is done. And I do love this statue, though. If I could, I would buy up a couple more of these statues, and I would make other characters. I think this is an awesome running pose, too. I would love to make a Kid Flash from Kingdom Come out of this one, because it looks like she's running. Maybe down the line, if I ever get another one of these statues, maybe I'll make a Kid Flash out of it. But for now, I just don't have the money or the room, trying to cull down the collection and just kind of focus on the Grail characters again. So there you go. There's Phyla Vell. Hopefully you guys like the way she came out. Hopefully there's some info for you guys if you actually have this statue. Now you know that there's a nice metal rod in the leg, so you don't have to worry about any warping over time. And there you go. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back with some more videos.